Hey, Kelly, welcome to Stagwell Sports Speech.
Thanks, Wes. It's great to be here.
So you run the National Havoc Robot League. Can you give me a basic breakdown of what NHRL is?
NHRL is the world's largest robot fighting league. We're launching a professional robot fighting league, and we're really excited to be the fastest growing STEM sport.
And there's a big point about immersive experiences here at Stagwell. So how would you think about immersive experiences when it comes to robot combat?
So the way that we think about it is we're really looking to have people, if you think about the Willy Wonka of robot fighting, when you come into our arena, you're going to experience everything from beginning to end of just high-end innovation, technology. You're going to be, robots that help you. This is the future for us of, robots that help you at the beginning and as you're coming in, and being able to experience things in such a high-end, tech-forward way. Really thinking about how we associate our brand and associate our experience and anybody who's there with the opportunity to really become a fan and to really understand what we do. What we do is just best experienced live, and so really just trying to cater to that and build something around that.
And you talk about a lot of technology, and being a STEM sport, can you talk a little bit about the technology innovations you're bringing to sports and inventing this new category of sports?
Absolutely. I mean, our robots are the technology to start with. So our robots are built by the most brilliant engineers in the world, NASA scientists, MIT PhD candidates, the most brilliant collegiate students in the world who are going into future careers in engineering. And the work that they're doing and the problems that they're solving day to day when they come to compete with NHRL are the kinds of skills that they're developing that are going to go into electric vehicles, that are going to go into space travel, that are going to go into all sorts of technology of the future. And so we're really just focused on helping to build that talent pipeline and also to really become synonymous with the future of technology.
And I read a really interesting stat that you all have more camera feeds running on a given tournament than the Super Bowl. Can you talk about maybe the tech stack that's behind filming and broadcasting and getting all this content live around robot combat?
Absolutely. So every tournament that we run, we end up with about 10 terabytes of data at the end of each tournament. That's the culmination of over 100 camera feeds that go into our control room, and we have built a proprietary tech stack underneath that allows us to capture every single fight from every single angle, and that becomes immediately available in the cloud, and that has enabled our technology and our social content production team to be able to produce content immediately on site during our tournaments, to be able to get social clips and all of those things available, as well as for our competitors who are just like any football player is going to watch tape from an old game. They're able to actually go and watch their previous match and be able to learn from that on the fly. And so it's really just being able to put the technology that we need to build a fan base in the hands of our content producers as well as in the hands of our competitors, and be able to build something that's really high value across the company.
And we spoke a little bit about innovation at the top, but I want to go into you all are launching actually a professional sports league like this year, I believe. Can you talk about the innovation that you're actually bringing to sports and like how you actually go about building a sport from scratch, and like how do you even think about it?
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited to be building the first professional robot fighting league. We see such potential for this sport. It's really the right time. There's just never been a greater interest or need for people who are brilliant engineers, and so this is the opportunity. And we're just, right now it's about identifying the right teammates and teams and building those out, and really just trying to learn from all sorts of other emerging sports and try to figure out exactly the right paths. But we're really excited and feel really compelled by the strong foundation that we've built in NHRL Open, which is our amateur league, and building on that into collegiate and pro.
And we mentioned stats around camera feeds, but can you go into like viewership stat? Where is the state of the sport right now? What's the next evolution?
Absolutely. So in the last 2.5 years, our audience has grown by over 15,000%. So we started with a relatively small digital audience, and that's grown to nearly 1 million followers across platforms. We had 500 million video views last year, entirely
500
organic.
million?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
So, what we really see from that is that the content just translates incredibly well to social, and in particular translates incredibly well among younger demographics. And so from, everyone the age of 13, 16 and up to, early 30s, we just have such a highly engaged community and a highly engaged fan base of people who are really excited about what we're doing and develop an enormous amount of curiosity and passion for it, and have built real fandoms around that.
So, robot combat, who are the fans and how are they translating into competitors, builders?
I mean, our competitor landscape is quite diverse. We have families with young kids who compete together through to retired rocket scientists, but we also have a really healthy population now and a sizable population of young people in particularly the collegiate age range of folks who are students at schools like MIT, Cornell, Georgia Tech, and all sorts of other really high quality tech schools. And so we're really seeing this opportunity as we grow in that space in particular for the world of collegiate sports that's kind of overlooked a lot of these technological schools. That's a huge amount of white space for us, and because we know that the content is incredibly compelling, really, really watchable, really, really viral, and then also that we have this potential to build fan bases among schools and populations of students that are really a great place to look for high value and highly engaged students. That's really a big area for us to be building and something that we're really seeing a lot of traction in. And then, beyond that, it's just a wider population of people who are underserved by traditional sports and people who are, perhaps, more minded to be a part of a gaming community or a music community or something that might be considered, traditionally a little bit more out there or a little bit nerdy. We're a big celebration of that world and really trying to tap into people who are, in these sort of other groups and other fandoms that all come together under one roof at NHRL.
And then how, there's a lot of talk about creators and brands around how are brands and creators getting involved in National Havoc Robot League?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of work with creators. That's been a big piece of our strategy for the last couple of years. In particular, our strategy around it is to identify creators that have adjacent audiences to ours, and so really looking at the Michael Reeves and Mark Robers of the world and trying to find those folks who are really creative engineers, makers, that sort of community, and tapping into that and helping to bring them in. And so the way that manifests is our builders, our creators will come in and work with our team. We have engineers on staff who will help to build robots with these creators, and many of them come in with their own skills themselves. We create a lot of great content around that, and then are able to share that and tap into their audiences as well as create more engaging content for ours.
And for everyone watching, how do you become a fan, and then how do you translate fandom into maybe building a robot yourself?
I mean, you can easily become a fan if you start to scroll on our TikTok. It's a pretty slippery slope, and it doesn't take very long.
Yeah.
You kind of just dive into the depths of, positively hysterical, followed by emulsifier, and you've got, yourself a whole slippery slope into fandom of robots. Coming from someone who was not a robot fan myself, it's quite quick. But you can watch our content. Our tournaments we host our tournaments in Norwalk, Connecticut, as well as expanding around the country in the next 12 months or so. So looking at bringing robot fighting across the country and eventually around the world. But right now, the best place to watch us is at NHRL on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
Awesome. And final thoughts on Cannes and the world of sports at Cannes? Anything you've learned and takeaways? I think we're almost at time here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great to be here and to see everybody coming together. I think that there's just been such an enormous excitement around sports and around women's sports, and to see that coming to the fore in a lot of these conversations has been really inspiring, particularly as a woman running a company in
a STEM company.
A STEM company. Yeah. I'm kind of at the intersection of sports and technology, neither of which have an enormous number of women. So I think uniquely really excited to see that conversation, and excited to be able to help to bring more women into STEM and technology.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank Stagwell Sports Beach for having us. And thank you, Kelly Biderman, CEO of NHRL, for sitting down with me and chatting.
Thank you so much, Wes.